What's going on, my babies? Welcome back to another episode of The Spiritual Word. As always, I apologize for any noises in the background in advance and anything of that nature. And I also like to start these off with a disclaimer by stating that these are for entertainment purposes only, and to always do your own research to come to your own conclusions, to have your answers, and I believe in your ability to be your own person and to do so, because you're already doing that. So in today's episode, I just want to jump right into today's episode. And today is 111, the first month, the 11th of the first month, so it's 111, and I want to use this day as a way to help you guys manifest and help me manifest all together. And this school bus is passing by again. I don't know, yeah, I'm pretty sure, sorry, my brain, but the fact that there's a school bus that always drives by my street, why? You know what I mean? Like, my street is a very, very small street, so I don't understand how the school bus is always passing by here. But anyways, not the point. So today's a 111 day, and we're gonna be manifesting. And obviously, sorry, I get distracted really easily, and like, but So because today's a 111 day, I want to be talking about how to manifest and how to manifest. But I'm not gonna do tips and tricks. I'm just gonna be talking and rambling as I normally do. And instead of, if this isn't clear and concise, I apologize in advance, just because, like, it's probably not going to be clear and concise. But I'm going to make it short, sweet, and simple. We're going to talk about manifesting. So today's a 111 day, and the way that I'm doing this is a way that somebody else taught me to do this. So basically, this person said, okay, write a to-do list that you want to accomplish by the end of this year, by the end of this year, and check it off like you've already done it. Like, have an agenda and then pretend that you've already done it. And then move in your day-to-day like you've already done that, so don't stress about whether or not it happens or not. And I'm like, okay. So obviously I say that so that you guys write a to-do list. And if you want to follow along, obviously, like, if you don't want to follow along, or if you have your own method, do that. But that's what I'm doing. I just want to try that out. And it kind of plays into the same element because because this month is my 30-day challenge, and we're only the second week into it. So basically, I want to just talk about manifesting and just give you a little bit of a basis, just for the sake of filling up the rest of this episode, just because, like, I could just end it here. But basically, something that I've experienced when manifesting is that, like, I really just say, okay, I want this, and then I don't trip over the fact of whether or not I get that. And it's always been the case when I was not tripping over the fact that whether or not I got that. And I think also because, like, the causes and conditions that I posted yesterday, that also plays a part. Like, you have to know what is going to play out and what's not going to play out. Like, you can't be completely all up in the air, if that's making sense. And also, what the hell, this school bus passes twice every day, passes by twice. What is the need? I don't understand. Like, twice, anyways, not a point. So that's weird that it passes by twice every day. Like, why? They literally go around the block and then they come back up my street. Like, why? Not the point. Distracted. So manifesting, I feel like, it's just you being positive about the things that you want to accomplish, even if you don't necessarily accomplish those. And what I've experienced is that, like, when I'm positive about the things that, like, aren't something that's really, like, important, it's when I get those things. Like, when I was a kid, I was very, like, I used to run from relationships left and right. Like, I hated being in relationships, and it felt awkward to me because, like, I feel like I'm asexual. Although I don't really say that, because girls are really pretty, like, I understand if I wasn't asexual, I'd definitely be into girls. So there's a part of me that's, like, on the brink. But when I was in high school, I thought that I was asexual, because I was like, I don't have any desire to be with any of you. And yeah, girls are pretty, but, like, I'm not really tripping on, being in a relationship just because I find it awkward to, like, hold your hand and, like, call you my girlfriend. Like, I find that awkward. And I'm like, eesh, But that could have just been me being a kid. But I also felt that way for a really long time. I just never like vocalized it to myself. And because of this, like I feel like I would just have girls like try to talk to me like a lot. And I'm like, I'm really not that cute. Like, what's the big deal? And I really didn't understand why people liked me, like to begin with. Even though off the fucking, off the jump, or like right away, I'd be like, oh, like I'm not really looking for people. Like, maybe I don't say that, but I make it pretty clear. Like, I'm not like, I like being single. Like, I always tell people that, like, I like being single. And I always have experiences with people. Like, a couple months ago, this dude that I was working with literally came up to me and he's like, hey, I have like a business opportunity if you're interested in it. And I'm like, ooh, business. Like, I like money. Let's go. And I was like, and this was the day that like I decided I wasn't going to say no to shit. So, like, he caught me in a good day, right? Like, he caught me in the day that he wanted to catch me. Like, he was trying to fucking do that shit. Like, either he manifested me or like the stars just fucking aligned for him for no reason. So he came up to me and he was like, hey, do you want to do this business endeavor? And I was like, oh yeah, sure. And then he started telling people at work that we're dating because I took him home. And I was like, why would you tell people we're dating? Like, first of all, you didn't even ask me out. Second of all, you didn't even tell me that you liked me. Third of all, I just fucking met you. Like, literally a day ago. Like, I literally just fucking met you. And I didn't know that he was telling people that we were dating until people at work started acting weird. Because where I was working, like, everybody gossips. Like, everybody gossips at everywhere. Like, it's always high school, everywhere you go. So, these people were gossiping about me, and I'm just like, I can literally hear you. Like, I'm in the same fucking room. You're saying this like I'm not here. And these bitches are bold out here. Like, you're looking at them pop your shit. And I was like, okay, that's weird. Like, why are they talking about me and this dude? And then I sat down with one of the people that like called themselves my friend, or one of the people that I called my friend. I sat down with her and she was like, I just have a question for you. Like, why do you like this dude? Why are you guys going out? He told us that you guys were going out, and I would just want to know what you see in him. And I was like, what? I was like, first of all, do you not see the way that like I look? Like, you think that this shit is just for like I'm just like guyish? Like, I just like to dress like this? Like, you just think I'm a tomboy? And then she's like, no, I thought you were gay, but I don't like to assume because you never know. And I'm like, okay, she's trying to be a good person and say that she didn't want to assume, but like, you can assume. You know what I mean? Like, I look gay on purpose. And I was like, no, I like girls. And so like I made up this story that I was like, oh, I'm going out with a girl. And then I texted one of my friends and I was like, hey, can I call you? Or can you call me at the end of this day so that when I take this dude home, he knows that like this ain't no option. Like, I am not an option. I am not about to go out with you, especially you're fucking psychotic. Like, I just met you. You're over here telling the whole world that we're dating. Like, what is that about? And then he lies about everything. Like, he told me that his parents were still in his home country and that he's out here trying to make it himself, and that he's renting from people he doesn't know. And then when I was talking to this girl who told me that he said that we were going out, she was like, no, he lives with his parents. And his dad literally works here. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, how the fuck did I not know that? And the only reason I didn't know is because I didn't talk to anybody. Like, I was brand new. He literally did this, like, the third week that I was there. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know you. Like, I don't talk to anybody here. Or it might have been, like, the second week that I was there. Not too sure. But basically, I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's weird. And then I realized that it's always when I'm not looking for people that, like, a billion people want to go out with me. And then when I am looking for people, it's like a ghost town in my DMs. Like, what the fuck? And then I realized that it's when you don't care about the things that you're trying to get that you get those things. Like, it's when you don't care that everybody wants to, like, be around you. You know what I mean? Like, when I was in college, I don't like to say college because it wasn't real college, but, like, when I went to trade school, I had so many people that were like, oh my gosh, you're so cute, this and that. And I'm just like, I'm really not trying to be cute. Like, my haircut, disgusting. Like, I literally don't care about the clothes I'm wearing. And I still, to this day, don't care about the clothes I'm wearing. Like, And Like, for some reason, that would give people this idea that, like, I'm overly confident, or that, like, I'm really cocky, and that's why I don't, like, give a shit about the rest of the things. Which, I can see that. Like, there's a silent confidence to me, because I'm like, I really don't give a shit about whether or not you like me. And I think that made people like me even more. So I was like, okay, well, that's weird. And then when I started to try, that's when I experienced that, like, nobody liked me. Like, I remember I went up to this girl at this roller rink, and I was like, hey, I think you're really pretty. Is it okay if I sit down with you? And then she's like, yeah. And then I was like, oh, do you come here often? Like, do you like to skate? Is this like a hobby of yours? And then she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, did you come with your friends? I was just trying to make conversation. And she was like, yeah, I did come with my friends, but today I didn't come with my friends. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, do you mind if I skate with you? And she was like, yeah, but I don't skate backwards. And, like, at the time that we were sitting down having this conversation, everybody was skating backwards. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't skate backwards either. Like, I just do this for fun on occasion. Like, I haven't done this since I was like 12. And then she goes to skate, and, like, she leaves. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, I get the hint, but you could have just said no. And then I go up to her and I was like, hey, do you still want to skate? And then she's like, no, me and my friend are actually, like, just gonna skate with each other. And I'm like, okay, you could have just fucking said that. Like, you could have just said that off rip, Like, it's not that deep. You could have just been like, oh, no, I don't really want to skate with you. Like, that simple. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I started skating away. And then her and her friend both, like, yell at me. Like, I'm skating away. And they, like, both yell, like, creep. And I'm like, first of all, relax. You're not that pretty. Like, I wasn't about to, like, kidnap you. Like, I literally came here with my friends. I wanted to know if I could hang out with you. But at the end of the day, I'm going home with my friends. Like, fuck you. And that kind of pissed me off because I was like, how are you going to call me a creep? Just because, like, I went up to you. And that's when I realized I was like, oh, okay, I'm trying too hard. Like, I need to, like, give up trying. And then I stopped trying. And people would come up to me, like, at work and stuff. I realize that it's always places where I'm, like, not trying at all. Like, it's always places like work where, my coworkers are like, oh, you're cute. And I'm just like, thank you. But no, thank you. But also, I really don't give a shit. And then the same thing happens, like, all the time. I'm not trying somewhere and then it fucking happens. And then I was thinking back to one of the manifestations I had, like, a while ago, and I was like, oh, I just want a place to record. And then I was like, okay, I can do this. And then I, like, really didn't pay any attention. And then, like, right now, I can literally look at what I was talking about. About that manifestation. Like, what I wanted, I can literally physically see it and touch it and be inside of the room, basically. And then when I came back from moving states, I was like, oh, I really want a car. And then I was like, okay, well, let me live somewhere where you don't need a car, so I don't really trip on not having a car. And then I lived at this Buddhist retreat center. Like, I was working at a Buddhist retreat center, and then being there, I had, like, accumulated enough money to buy a car. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, if I go home to my mom's house, I could just get a car. And boom, I'm sitting in the car. So I feel like manifesting is just you not really stressing over the things. Like, you want something, you want something, you're gonna get it eventually. So don't trip on whether or not you have it or not. And I think that's what stops a lot of people from manifesting. Because I feel like that's what stopped me from manifesting. Because at one point I was like, I kind of want a girlfriend. And then I'd go out and, like, try to meet people. Like, I'd try to, like, go out and be like, hey, I think you're really pretty. Can I get your number? It was always something like, oh, no, thank you. Or, like, oh, I actually like boys. Or, like, it was always some no, And I was like, why is that? Why is that? And then I was like, do I not have, like, a gaydar? Or, like, do I not do this enough to know what to do? Or am I just fucking ugly? And I just basically came to the conclusion that I was, like, trying too hard. And then, long and behold, when I stopped trying, people come up to me. And, like, that whole incident with that dude happens. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is not the first time that a dude has done that to me. And then one of my guy friends, like, just exposed himself. And he was like, not like exposed himself, but, like, he was just like, hey, can I tell you something? And I was like, I already know what you're going to say because he said that. And he's like, what am I going to say? And I'm like, you're probably going to tell me that you like me. And he's like, no. And then I was like, okay, say what you're gonna say. And he's like, well, okay, fine. I was gonna say that. But here's why I like you. And I'm like, okay, like, that doesn't make a difference, you know? Like, I already knew what you were gonna say, and you said it. And I have shit like that happen to me all the time, where I'm like, I don't want this. And it shows up. And I think it's also part of because, like, it's partially due to the fact that, like, I don't want to see it, that it shows up, because I put a lot of weight to the things that I don't want to see. And I'm trying to balance that scale, or trying to tip the scale on the side of the things that I do want to see. Like, put more power to the things that I do want to see, and be excited for the things that I do get to see, you know? So, for me, I've experienced that whatever I don't want to see, or whatever I'm not caring about what I'm trying to see, that's when things happen for me. Like, I always got into relationships when I was like, okay, like, I'm not really looking for this, but I think you're cute. So, you know, fuck it, we can try. And then, you know, moments where I'm fucking single, I'm like, oh, let's fucking go party. You know, like, I've always experienced those things. And then when I'm in relationships, I'm like, I just want to go party. Like, I just want to go do my own thing. And not, like, just fucking hook up with people, but, like, I want the freedom to be able to flirt with someone if I want to. You know? And that's another thing that I've experienced. Like, the fact that I put a lot of weight to not being confined by something, and then I want to be confined by something, and then it doesn't happen because I'm like, I want it to happen, and it's not happening. That's why it's not happening. Instead of just allowing things to just be and allowing things to unfold. And that's what I realize also helps me with manifestation. Like, just don't trip on it, and, like, it'll happen. And don't be caught up on whether or not it's going to happen, because it probably will happen, just not right now. And I remember one time when I was in high school, I was trying to manifest getting my driver's license. And I was like, oh, but I want to go to, like, an actual school where they teach you. Like, they physically have instructors, and they physically are in the car with you. And, you know, they read books about, you know, the driving test to you, or with you, or have you read it. Like, a physical school. I want to go to a physical school. And then I signed up for a school. And in that school, they also happened to teach you how to drive, if it was something that you were interested in. And it was for free. So I was like, oh, bet. Like, I did two things in one, you know? So just don't trip is what I've experienced. Like, don't care about it, and then it'll happen. So I'm gonna end this here just because this went way over the time that I thought I was gonna go over. So yeah, with that being said, thanks for tuning in and tapping in. As always, I apologize for any noises in the background, you know, and also my disclaimer, but you already know those. So with that being said, I hope that this was helpful in any way, shape, or form. And, you know, go out there and manifest your dream 2024. So yeah, thanks for tuning in and tapping in. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.